Plenty more lefties content to come with my next guest. He is the host of Primetime with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex, let's start with a Trump ad that dropped post-debate calling out Kamala Harris for her many lies. The Democrat Dave and Davis refused to fact-check on ABC. Let's have a look.
I will not ban fracking. I'm in favor of banning fracking. It has to be legislation, but yes, and this is something I've taken on in California. I have a history of working on this issue. When it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the former president said, stand back and stand by.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace.
It's a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism.
We all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Belittling and name-calling. Let's turn the page.
Don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird?
Alex, how do you see today's events and the fallout from the debate?
Well, what transpired today is very alarming because it makes me think that maybe the liberals don't have enough to fortify this election, and the only way to stop Donald Trump from winning is to, unfortunately, assassinate him, or I guess maybe scare him into not running, which I don't think is possible with Donald Trump. But, you know, when it comes to the debate, what I'm actually mad about is that Donald Trump didn't pander a little bit more, because Kamala Harris was just pandering and lying the entire time. When Donald Trump, you know, she accused people of leaving Donald Trump's rally early, I would have liked to have seen Donald Trump said, yeah, maybe people left the rally early because I was shot. So, you know, the debate, I think Donald Trump could have done a little bit better, but I would have liked him to have mentioned how he helped out so many struggling families during the pandemic with the $1,200 stimulus, just small stuff like that. I wish he would have taken a little bit of their playbook, not necessarily lie, but talk about some of the more leftist things that he did in office that actually helped all the American people, because she's trying to be fake conservative. I would like Trump to maybe appease the liberals a little bit.
Be a fake lefty. That will confuse people. Now, one man who's responsible for updating us on what happened today with this second assassination attempt and the arrest of this character, this dude is called Jeffrey Veltri. He's the special agent in charge of the Miami field office for the FBI. But Alex, this is a man who seems to have extreme TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Indeed, FBI officials ordered Veltri last year to scrub his Facebook page and delete the anti-Trump vitriol since Miami's field office covers Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. And it wasn't a great look. Whistleblowers told the House Judiciary Committee last year Veltri was adamantly and vocally anti-Trump. So why was he appointed to this role? That seems to be an issue. You would hope people who are serving in that capacity are not in any way political.
Well, it's a major conflict of interest, but it just proves the point for all the people that are saying there's a deep state. This is what we mean by a deep state, that there are unelected bureaucrats that are in some of the highest positions of our law enforcement that hate our current president or the man that's running for president. And that's the problem, is we can't really stop these individuals because we didn't vote for them. Just like the CIA says, listen, we're not too worried about the president because the president changes every 4 to 8 years while the CIA stays the same. So this is the deep state that we're exactly pointing the finger at and trying to expose. And a lot of people will call us crazy. But when you have high up officials in the FBI that are conducting all of these investigations of the people that are potentially trying to kill Donald Trump, and they have a bias against Donald Trump, that would make me think that we have a crooked Department of Justice, and this needs to be called out. And I'm happy that you're bringing attention to this, because it's something that the American media is much too afraid to do.
But everyday people know about it, Alex, and you've seen some of the research on this where they've polled people's trust in these institutions. And it's at record lows because they know they've become politicized. They know there's this two-tier system that's operating, and it's dangerous. It's really, you want to have the public have faith in these institutions. And one of the institutions the public doesn't seem to trust so much these days is the media, and who could blame them? I'm going to play you this clip from MSNBC. There's many others like it. Now, these hosts today are seemingly blaming Trump for his own second assassination attempt, or whatever you want to call it, at the golf course today. Have a look.
He's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence?
Alex, we've heard similar sentiments. I played some of them just previously from NBC, CNN, ABC also have commentary that seems to be blaming the victim. How is this happening?
Well, it's not a surprise, to be honest. And I think they're doing it on purpose to try to encourage more people to take shots at Donald Trump. If you look at this guy, Ruth, when he was arrested, he seemed almost happy because the last person that shot Donald Trump, the entire media has memory hold it and basically stopped talking about it during the debate. No, neither candidate was questioned about the assassination attempt. So it just shows you that any attempt on Donald Trump's life is something that the media will probably cheerlead. And if it's something bad does happen, they're not going to even cover it. So we don't even get the truth. So our media is terrible here. The mainstream media, it's just, you can't really trust them whatsoever.
Well, you've got activist journalists there who are allowing really their opinions to masquerade as news. If you're an opinion show like this, then by all means, give your opinion. But if you're pretending to be a newscaster who's absolutely unbiased and bringing us all the news in a fair and balanced fashion, well, you can't let your own politics interfere with that. And I think they let their own politics interfere with that every single day. You mentioned the debate, and one of the things that was talked about during the Harris-Trump debate was this notion of women having late-term abortions right up to possibly the birth of the child, or post certainly the point where the child would be viable outside the womb. Kamala dismissed this talk as insulting.
Nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America.
But even lefty outlet The Atlantic has interviewed a doctor who performs exactly that sort of procedure, a man called Warren Hearn, who insists a baby is a fetus until it is born alive, who calls pro-life activists fascists and performs abortions for women whose pregnancies are over 32 weeks. That's around 1 month before the pregnancy is considered full term and weeks after a fetus is considered viable. He operates in Colorado, where there are no gestational limits on abortion. And Alex, Colorado is hardly the only state with no gestational limits. So again, another issue that wasn't picked up by the ABC moderators when we know abortion is such a huge issue in this election.
Well, abortion's a very huge issue, and there's a reason why they have to lie about this, because even people that are pro-choice believe there should be a term limit of when a person can have an abortion. Most people meet in the middle that should be, done within the first trimester, some people the second trimester, but about everybody would agree that the third trimester is way too far to have an abortion. So they have to lie and say that this isn't happening when we have the governor of Virginia, Governor Northam, saying that this does happen and that they will keep the baby comfortable while the parent decides whether or not to euthanize a baby. So this is not a right-wing conspiracy. This is something that's real, and that even people that are pro-choice are against. So that's why they have to lie.
You're so right. This is a far more nuanced debate than the media give credit for. And there's been so much polling in the US on this. And a clear majority, even those who are pro-choice in the first trimester, are against abortion for the second and certainly the third trimester. There is so much information and data on that, and it's never really discussed. It's you're either for or against, and there's nothing in between. Now, Kamala Harris laughed when Donald Trump claimed migrants in Ohio were eating pet dogs and cats. But now we've got New York City and federal park authorities saying they need to beef up resources near Jamaica Bay in Queens to ward off people torturing and killing animals. The New York Post revealed animal sacrifices are surging in the area, with at least 8 animals, including pigs, dogs and rats, found dead or maimed since late July. And Alex, we've got former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy announcing he's going to travel to Springfield, Ohio this week to speak with the locals there, hear their concerns. They've town of less than 60,000 people who've had 20,000 migrants from Haiti deposited into their town, causing all sorts of issues. No one was speaking about Springfield and towns like it before the debate and Trump's comments about they're eating the pets. And now it's become a focal point.
Well, it is happening, Rita. I mean, there's no lie about it, because we're mixing different cultures. And in Haiti, you know, they do have food issues, and it's more likely where they would eat a dog or cat. And you know, I think that Trump protecting the cats is what gave him an extra life today on that golf course. Those cats granted him with an extra 9 lives because he saved their lives. But let's be real, you know, not all Haitians are eating pets, but it is happening. I mean, it is actually happening. There's police reports of people complaining about it, yet David Murder in the debate wants to say that the city manager says it's not an issue. If one cat gets eaten, in my opinion, it's an issue. So this is where we're at, is that people's culture are not necessarily mixing with the American culture that we currently have. And there's other foreign countries where they eat cats and dogs, where it's not taboo. But here in America, it is taboo. And I think to culturally acclimate, they have to stop eating the cats and dogs.
But I think it's so much more than that. I mean, whether that's happening or not is really almost not the issue. It's the fact that this unchecked migration, illegal and legal, and the impact it's having on these little towns that have kind of been forgotten. And by that comment being made and the reaction to it, it's actually bringing attention to towns like Springfield, Ohio, and those people are finally being heard, getting some media coverage. So it's crazy how it works. It might actually be one of the more effective things that comes out of that debate. Alex Stein, always a pleasure, and you're looking very Trump-esque today with that outfit. I don't know if you intended for that to happen, but you pulled it off.
Well, 100%, Rita. I'm supporting my guy, Donald Trump, with the red tie. You know it. And they're 0 for 2. Gosh, I hope they stop trying to kill our president. It's very scary, Rita.